YouTube. Now we are
Download.
live streaming. It says we're live streaming on YouTube. Hey everybody, give me 1 second to get my life because there's still some instructions coming up from YouTube. So I just want to make sure. Okay. Now we are live streaming. It says we're live streaming on. Why do I hear two things?
Because YouTube is going to be delayed, so you can't watch it and stream it.
Okay. Hi, everybody. Woo! We've made it. I like to watch myself and be on the platform at the same time so that I can correct my behavior and my rolling eyes and all of that. But since we are live streaming to YouTube and not to Facebook, this is a new process for me. So hello everybody, I am Penda James and welcome to the Resilience Project, where what I do is I introduce my friends to my friends so that we can all do great work together. And I want to introduce the world to my friend, Brigette Rooks. She is the CEO of Creative Vibes. Is there something else after Creative Vibes? I feel like I'm missing it.
Nope,
Creative
you got it.
Vibes, something. Creative Vibes. And so I want to tell you what I know of Brigette, and then I'm going to let her add to my introduction. But 2 years ago, a mutual friend of ours encouraged me to reach out to her because I was lost in creativity, doing everything that I could to make sure that I help everybody else, and I was falling into the cracks. And I met Brigette. She elevated my thinking with her brand business brand blueprint. Did I get it?
Close.
She helped me to work on and implement my elevator pitch. I am a scribe coach, and what I do is assist people to get unstuck, execute their goals, and inscribe their legacy. So, Brigette, is there something that I did not say about you that you want us to know about you?
Well, first of all, I just want to say thank you for including me in this friend list and introduce me to your friends so we can all be friends. I think that, sharing the love is what we need to do. And I just want to say thank you. I'm really excited about being here. So with that being said, something about me, I've learned that I'm not really a live video person.
Really?
As much as I do training videos, this is new for me. So thank you for pushing me outside of my comfort zone so I can sit here live on YouTube with you and your friends.
You are welcome. And more about you is that you are a mom.
I am.
You worked in retail for over 20 years.
I sure did.
So
I recently...
Go ahead.
Yeah, I had to leave that corporate world because at one point, it was everything I ever wanted to do, right? So I worked in retail in the store when my daughter was born. She's 23 now, so that takes you back several years. And I worked in the store. I worked as a sales associate, assistant manager, a key holder, a store manager. And then I finally got the dream job and moved to the corporate office, where everybody wants to go, fancy. And I was doing my thing. And I thought that it can't get any better than this, right? But I still felt out of place. I felt like I'm working, I'm spinning my wheels. I love merchandising and setting up the stores and training and coaching the teams in the field because I had been there, I'd been in their shoes, but I just had to get out of there. So about 10 years ago, when I turned 40, and I don't even know, I don't have a word for what happened other than I had to unlearn everything that I thought was right. So that's where my journey began because I had my 40th birthday party. I was still working at my corporate job, and something inside just said, this ain't it. You got to shift. And so that's where everything kind of started, from me having my own company to changing my mindset and to really trying to incorporate what it means to be Brigette and who I am and live on purpose started when I turned 40, which is 9 years ago.
Wow. I find it
Yeah.
interesting that you don't consider yourself someone who talks live and you have a podcast and you do a lot of training videos. And even for me, this is new. I love talking to people and talking to people live. But the technology part, it rattles me a little bit. We
Yeah.
had a little bit of technical difficulty today, but you keep forging on, you keep going and growing. And so thank you for pushing yourself and allowing yourself to come out of that. And you're going to be great. Go be great. You say that to me all the time. So let's get right into the
Exactly.
I've been waiting to ask you this question. How do you define what it means to be the CEO of your life?
So for me, being the CEO of your life is actually now my second motto, because my first one, as you just mentioned, is go be great. So we'll talk about that later. But being the CEO of your life means finding balance and understanding how to keep that balance consistent, because life is always happening, right? Things are always going to be there to throw you off, distractions. And when I was going through that transition for the last 9 years, I realized that I had to simplify. In order to get to where I needed to be, I really need to focus on how can I make life simple, because it's really hard to do that with all of the chaos and all the craziness and not knowing what's coming next. So I created what's called the simple life. And this is kind of how my business started. I started blogging about changing your mindset and creating a simple life. And the simple life, I see this is so funny because I've never shared this with you. So I'm excited to tell you about the simple life. So the simple life is 5 components.
Okay.
It's 5 everyday components that we all deal with, and finding balance in those 5 components. And that starts with the first one, which is fit life. So it's making life simple. So the first one is fit life. And, that doesn't mean being fit and like muscle bound. It just means taking care of yourself, getting exercise, and eating healthy, and changing those habits so that you can have a fit life and be in control of that.
Okay.
The second step is thrifty life, right? So we need to be able to manage our finances in order to keep life simple. Because when you don't manage your finances, life can be really tough.
Yes, it can.
Being in control of your finances is a part of making life simple. The third step is divine life. And this on my journey, like I've always, been prayerful and have faith, but this journey has taught me to really be consistent and intentional about prayer and understanding what it is that I'm here for. So that's how I decided to really dig deep. So having a divine connection with your life and finding balance in that is part of making life simple. So that brings us to the 4th step. Now, remember there's 5 steps, so I got 2 more. The 4th step is superb life. And I find this one to be a little tricky, because having a superb life to me means being generous and understanding what it means to serve others and not worry about, oh, if I give this to somebody, what am I going to get? And being in a position to, if I'm blessed, then I'm blessing someone else. And I'm doing that out of because we're human and because I care and because I want to help somebody. And being able to do that consistently without feeling selfish or being upset or having emotions about why somebody didn't do something helps you live less emotional and have a superb life. The last thing, which you probably might have guessed this by now, is love. Love makes the world go round. And if you can't make that simple and remove all the drama and remove all of the craziness, it just makes it harder when you are really battling how to love and how to show love and how to be loved. So when you learn to love yourself, then you can love others. So finding that balance and not, we're parents, we're women, and it's easy to love and give to everybody else. And that's what throws everything off. And it doesn't make life simple, because we end up looking exhausted and tired and angry and all of the things. And, it makes life harder. So when I started focusing on making life simple with those 5 things that I can control for myself, it really helped me become the CEO of my life.
Wow. Okay. So how has being the CEO of your life been a thread throughout your life?
Well, it always wasn't. I was always working for other people, right? Until I found the balance from being like making life simple. I was never in control of my life. I was living for everyone else, trying to please everyone else, making sure everyone else had what they needed, and that I was perfect and I did, follow the rules. That's me living and setting balance on everybody else and not taking ownership for my life. So now, after this 9-year journey, which is almost coming to an end, I've learned how to change my mindset to take charge, which if I was running a business, which I do, I would take charge and take ownership and run that. I have to run my life the same way and make sure that everything that I'm doing really is beneficial to me. And that's how now I live my life.
That's
how I live my life now every day.
So you live your life with the 5 pillars: the fit, the thrifty, it's not faith, but what are the other 3?
Divine life, superb life, and love life.
Thank you. So adding those as the pillars, which help to guide how you live your life, then changing your mindset about if you don't think of yourself as the CEO of your own life, then who's running your life?
Correct. Absolutely. Because otherwise you end up just listening for others to tell you where you need to be, what you need to do, how you need to show up, what you need to wear. And people will tell you all those things if you let them. So we have to, and it's hard because I used to live my life like that all the time.
Really? I can't, because I know you on this side, I can't imagine that. I can't.
Yeah, I was always trying to fit in. Always trying to fit in. But the funny thing is I never could.
Oh.
So that's why I had to embrace the fact that I wasn't, what's the saying? Don't try to fit in when you're born to stand out.
Yes, that's it.
So that's what I try to do. And I embrace that because I don't really want to stand out. So I'm still battling the fact that I don't want to be this big bright star, but if I'm shining, it's because I want to help and serve and give and love and live in my greatness. And that's something that I try to do as much as I can.
And you just said exactly how I feel. Like I don't need to be in the forefront. I want to push everybody ahead and help them succeed and do what they need to do. But I think there comes a time where the background singer needs to take the lead. We help everybody shine with our, presence and with our, but when I think of you and I think about one of your taglines being be the CEO of your life and go be great, like this is how you greet me all the time in all my emails and all the talks that we have. And so when I think about that, it really resonates with me that it's time to come out of thinking less than being a CEO. And I actually took a class earlier this year, and I heard a woman say, it was my second time hearing her say that. She said, in everything that she does, she considers because she has her own business, she is the CEO. So in everything that she does, wherever she goes, she sees things through that lens. And so if she goes to a fast food restaurant and it's dirty, if the parking lot is messed up, or if the roof is leaking, she goes through her mental Rolodex, like, who can I call that can come fix this?
Right.
So if we think about that in every aspect, including the pillars that you gave us, then actually, do you have a sheet for that, or some kind of a graphic that?
Actually, it is something that I used to write about on my blog, and I still have some older blogs, but I've incorporated that into my everyday thinking now, which now is more so in my mindset makeover course. Because
Yes.
I think that now we have to take a deeper dive, and it's more important than just saying, oh, I'm going to work out when I feel like working out, and I'm going to eat healthy today, or I might save a couple of dollars, but I'm going to spend them. Like, we have to make plans and take action. If you're running your business, you can't run your business haphazardly. So why would you run your life that way? So we have to set a goal, set out a calendar, put down tasks in order to achieve those goals. Just like when we're working on your website, or we're working on building your packages, it's very intentional. And when we come home from work, we're really like, oh, let me see what's on Netflix, or let me call my girls, or, let's go to happy hour. But we can intentionally plan those things. But if everything else in your life is chaos, you have some backtracking that you need to do in order to grab control of your life so that you can have time to enjoy those times, right? When you take time off.
With Creative Vibes, you have assisted me in dreaming in color again.
Yay!
I tell people to do that all the time, but it was really hard for me to do it for myself. And so working with you, and by the work that we do together on my business, and now having this conversation, thinking deeply and seeing things in color again, almost like my eyes have been closed for a long time. And now I'm like, oh, this is a red apple, and I was 10 of them,
Exactly. Yeah. I think
apples,
it's so amazing. That's so amazing.
Really
I'm so happy. Yeah.
You've done that for me. So in my sharing that, now I wonder, what do you want people to know about what it means to be the CEO of your life?
So for me, and it's an everyday battle, like it doesn't just turn off and on. It's something that you have to really put structure to your life, like waking up and making the morning. So you're intentionally getting up and having focus and prepared for the day, right? And then knowing who you need to show up for and how you can show up for them 100%. And having the intention that when I go to this meeting, here's my expectation and what I want to take away from this. We don't think about that as much when we're, working every day. We just clock in and clock out because you're guaranteed to get that paycheck. But when you take ownership of your life, the only payment you're going to get is your happiness, is your joy, is your success, is the things that you work hard for. So that's why it's so important for me to tell you. And I say, you got to celebrate the small things, celebrate the wins. I don't care how big it is, what it's little, because if you don't take time to celebrate your achievements, even if it's just today, I did not get stressed out. Nobody took me off of my game. I did what I was supposed to do. And I'm going to celebrate myself today because I've overcome anger, or I've overcome, being anxious, and been able to control those feelings, because that's what we have to do. And being the CEO of your life, when you get to the point when you're diligent about taking control over it, you'll see the results. And then it's a lifestyle, and it's not just something that you do. You change your whole lifestyle because your habits change. When your mindset changes, your habits change, right? Think about the 5 steps. If you go to the gym every day, or if you eat healthy and you have to shift your mindset in order to make a healthy list and not resist all of the things that the chips and the cookies and all the stuff that you're not supposed to eat. You have to shift your mind. And to be able to save money, you have to be able to shift your mind on that too. And once you get your mindset together, then it becomes a lifestyle, and your habits and routines are set. And it will be hard to go back to those things because you're going to be like, those debt collectors are not calling me no more because I have paid all my bills and I pay everything in cash, or whatever your outcome is that you set that goal for. So it's just about being consistent.
What was the turning point for you that led you to want to help other entrepreneurs?
So it's funny because when I first okay, I'm gonna start my business, I have a degree in graphic design. So I thought I would just be a graphic designer and help people with their business cards and, you know, real simple stuff. And then I started realizing all the things that I needed to do for my business in order to help others. And it was hard. It was a struggle. And it's hard when you do what I did, which I don't encourage anybody to do. And that is to leave your company, leave your business, leave your career without having a plan and without having a backup, without having a job. So that's exactly what my book that I'm releasing this month talks about, is how.
Show us.
Yay! Created to Win. This is the Entrepreneur's Guide to Living Life on Purpose. So the reason why I started writing my book and started my journey, because it was hard for me to put all the pieces together. And so during that time, I felt really alone. I felt like no one cared about my dream or what I wanted to do. So only because I was talking to the wrong people, right? So when you find your group of people and find your community of like-minded people, you can be encouraged, you can be empowered, and you can grow that way. And so I want to remove that from anyone else who's feeling like I was, so they can have a little handbook that will help you get through this process so that you can become the CEO of your life and your business. Yep. Tie that in.
Oh, I love it. So can you tell the people who will watch this and come back and watch the replay how they can connect with you, how they can, you know, join your Facebook group or get connected to your podcast so that we can all go be great?
Yes, yes. So first I want to just say that not everybody is built to be an entrepreneur, but you can become the CEO of your life by changing your mindset. So one way you can get started working with me or just connecting with me is by listening to my podcast, because I share really easy tips and tools so that you can become the CEO of your life and change your mindset. So my podcast is the Entrepreneur Lifestyle Podcast with Brigette Rooks, and I'm on Apple, Google, Spotify, all of those things. So I'll include the link in this video later, so you'll have that. My website is Creative Vibes with an 8. And I'll include that link for you too. So you can just click a button. Don't worry about writing it down because it's got an 8 in there and it's weird. And then on Facebook, you can follow on Creative Vibes. Everything is really the same. Facebook, Instagram is all Creative Vibes. And you can look for me on LinkedIn too, Brigette Rooks.
Yay. So thank you everyone who will come and watch us and watch this video. You've been watching the Resilience Project, and Brigette Rooks is someone who is a part of my creative village. So I wanted to introduce her to you all. Please comment, like, and share. Go follow Brigette. She has lots of nuggets that she shares on her podcast, on her Facebook page. I learn a lot just by sitting at her feet. And this is the kind of conversation that we have in real life. So we just opened it up so you all could see. Thank you for being here. We appreciate